magically intertwine. Where the wishing tree starts growing, when you wish upon a star, and your passions and desires seem to echo in its bark. So, come running, swoop in, apparate, and let your fandom clamors resonate. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome McKenna Grace.
This is your second day weekend. How was yesterday for you?
It was good. This is my third day because I got here a day early and explored.
Oh, really? What did you do?
I went and saw a chapel, a church. I saw the Lamb of God painting, which was really pretty gorgeous. Yeah, that was really cool. I just went and walked around, went to little touristy shops. You know, I like being a tourist and just like doing the classic things.
Nice. Did you find any nice souvenirs?
Did I find any what?
Nice souvenirs, something to take home with you?
The good souvenirs that I found were here because I bought little fried shrimp stuffed animals that I brought up yesterday, but I went and got more today.
Nice. Well, we're so lucky to have you because we know how busy you are. And it's so great to see how many different things you've already done, even though you're only 17, so that's super impressive. But I was wondering, when did you realize you wanted to become an actor?
Well, I started acting whenever I was about 5 or 6, so around then, or I was like 4 or 5, yeah.
That's insane, and how did you realize that you actually wanted to do that?
I really did. Luckily, I've never had any pressure to continue or to act from my family or my parents. Everybody's just always really supportive of me, and if I want to quit, then I can, and if I want to keep going, then I can. But I don't know, I was really young, and I was really obsessed with Shirley Temple and Pee Wee Herman, and so that was like my jam. Made me want to be like them.
And do you remember your first project?
It was probably a commercial of sorts. I did a Chuck E. Cheese commercial, or like a Texas Longhorns commercial, or Cook's Children. It was something like that. It was a little commercial, I'm sure.
Yeah. Did you also have to audition a lot without getting the job? Because I can imagine if you're at such a young age getting into the industry, it might be hard to find your way.
I audition a lot and don't get the job. Like, it's not a thing of past or anything. I wish it was. I constantly am auditioning and losing out on like so many things. Yeah, no, that's just a part of acting. It's a very discouraging job at times.
And how do you handle it then? Because if you're so young, it's not easy, I guess, to handle the pressure. Yeah,
no, I mean, it sucks, but it's just like in any being denied or losing out in any field of work, you just keep going. You know, it's like, what can you do? You just do everything you can, and if you don't get it, then you don't get it, so you just gotta keep on moving along.
Yeah. And is acting something that is like a technique for you, or do you work more intuitive?
I don't know, I feel like as I've gotten older, I've learned a lot more about acting, but I don't know, it's just kind of trying to basically understand human emotions, like, which are very complicated. It's just, I don't know, all it is just trying to figure out what I would do in the situation, or what I would do if that was what I was going through.
Yeah, it's interesting because you're going through so many different emotions at the same time, but at the same time you think, okay, you're so young, so you don't really know what those emotions are like, or what those situations are like, for example.
Yeah, I suppose so. I play a lot of very dark roles, and that's the whole thing with acting. It's things that you've never gone through, or situations and stories that you're telling for other people, but at the base of it, you've got to, connect to your character at some level, whether it's emotionally or story-wise or whatever.
An amazing movie you did is called Gifted with Chris Evans. You are so great in it. Do you have any memories of working with Chris and what that was like?
Yeah, I mean, he was lovely. I was probably 9 years old on that set, and I had a blast. It was one of the first bigger films I did, and it was, a turning point for me. It really changed my life, and working with Chris was really lovely. he was really nice to me. He was the best.
And what did you learn from him?
I was so young, so I think that just being on that set, I learned a lot from watching everybody, from the way they worked and the way they acted. It was the same with Chris. I just kind of watched people and pick up on tiny things here and there.
Nice. Is it hard to be taken serious if you're like 7 or 8 years old, for example, and you come onto a set? Is it hard to make your voice be heard?
Yeah, I mean, I'm 17 and I'm still, yeah. I mean, I don't know what age or point it specifically is like, oh, you're taken seriously now, but I feel like I'm still trying to figure that out. You know, being a little girl on a set doesn't help with the especially I'm a very energetic, optimistic person on a set sometimes, and so sometimes it just can come across a little silly or not taken seriously. But yeah, 100%. I think that that's something a lot of child actors struggle with, is being taken seriously, because I think it's a weird profession to be in, because it's kind of like you're treated as an adult sometimes until it's time to be a kid again. So it's weird, but even so, I mean, should I be taking anything that seriously whenever I'm like 7? No. So I get it. Yeah, no, that's always something difficult. But I love what I do, so I wouldn't have it any other way.
How did you keep yourself grounded? Because if you're on such a big set, for example, it might be difficult to still keep being a child while working.
Yeah, I mean, I think that I've had an unconventional childhood in life for sure, but what is normal? What is normal? But I don't know, I don't take myself that seriously. Like, I'm not special, I'm not that different. I just happen to be in a career that I really love, but is in the public eye, and so it's the same as anyone else's career or job, except it's just a lot more weirdly emotional, but it's, you know, in the public eye, and that's what the only thing that differentiates me from like anyone else. So it's not like a matter of keeping yourself grounded or anything like that. Like, I'm not that special. I'm just a person, you know, that really likes movies. So I'm the same as everybody here. I'm just a person who really likes movies and video games and comics. So it's just like, you know.
Do you have a favorite video game or comic?
You know what? Okay, so comic-wise, my mom wouldn't let me buy like graphic novels or comic books because I'm a speed reader whenever I read regular books, and so if I went and bought a comic or a graphic novel, then I'd finish it in 5 seconds, and she'd be like, why did you buy it? You could have just gone to Barnes & Noble and got it. So whenever I was reading comics, I'd have to do that. But I really enjoyed the Darker Sabrina the Teenage Witch comics. I read all of those whenever I joined the cast. And I love video games. I love video games. I just finished Until Dawn with all survivors, and if you play that game, that's a little difficult. I played Resident Evil 7 with my dad. I love The Sims 4 specifically. I feel like I don't even have to say I love Minecraft because that's just a given. And my guilty pleasure is Roblox. I love Roblox, and I probably play it like every other day. And I'm not, you know what? No, I'm not ashamed to admit that. I love Roblox.
Yeah, it's a great game.
Yeah.
I was also wondering, because you've done so many different genres already. You were in big blockbusters, you were in horror movies. What was it like being in a horror movie? Because you did Annabell, and you also did The Haunting of Hill House. Is it a different technique of acting if you walk onto a set like that?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's very different acting what I'm going to do on a set like Annabelle or The Haunting of Hill House versus what I'm going to do in like Paw Patrol or Ghostbusters, but I think that that's just a difference in subject material versus kind of what I'm doing. I'm still the same actor. It's just a much more serious or scary role. But I mean, those sets are fun. They're really fun to be a part of because you know that you're making something cool and scary, and I'm a really big horror fan, and so I'm always super into being on those sets. Sometimes you freak yourself out because you're just like, am I actually getting haunted, or am I just being superstitious because I'm on like an Annabelle set? So you never really know if it's actually scary or if you're just psyching yourself out.
What is the vibe like on a set like that? Because I find it hard to imagine if you come to then it's 9 o'clock and you say, okay, let's start screaming and terrified of some ghost.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting for sure. It is such a weird line of work. Like, you just show up to work and they're like, okay, like pretend like you're dying for like 15 hours and just like scream and cry. And I'm like, okay. But I mean, the vibe, at least on Annabelle, was like really fun. It was really, we all had such a good time shooting. We were all such a fan of the franchise. And you know, it's not taking itself too seriously on set. Like, you're just having a good time. And you're just like sitting there in your turn, and there's like a 7-foot tall guy like dressed as a demon, just sitting there like legs crossed, sipping his tea. And you're like, oh, okay, this isn't that scary.
Something else you've done recently is the Ghostbusters movies. The new one, Frozen Empire, just came out. How excited were you to find out you were going to be a Ghostbuster?
Oh, I was ecstatic. I mean, I still don't believe it. Two films into the franchise now for me. It still doesn't feel real to be talking about promoting and having the second film come out. I can't believe I've been playing Phoebe since I booked the role whenever I was 12 years old. Now I'm turning 18 in June, so it's been such a massive part of my life. And even before I was a Ghostbuster, I was such a big fan of Ghostbusters, so it was such like an important part of my childhood. And now it's just like such a massive point in my life. And I don't know, it changed my life, so it's weird and crazy to be a part of.
Yeah. Did you feel like you had big shoes to fill because those original movies are so iconic? What was it like to film them?
I think whenever I was younger, I didn't try and think as much of the pressure. I feel like now I think of the pressure just because I get asked questions about it so much. But otherwise, I feel like it's not fair to franchise yourself to like get too in your head about it, because at the end of the day, we just do what we can. We go into the film, and being such a big fan of the film, I try to do Egon, playing his grandchild justice, and I'm trying to do Ghostbusters justice as such a big fan, but I'm also trying to come on the set and pour as much like love and heart into the film and project as possible, which I feel like is truly what we do. We just come on the set and don't take ourselves too seriously. We have a great time and just try to make something that us as actors or Ghostbusters fans are really proud of, and something that also the Ghostbusters fans and hopefully anybody else who wants to come along for the ride can enjoy.
Definitely. And what was it like reprising the character of Phoebe for the second movie? Were there certain parts of her that you hadn't explored yet that you got a chance to deal with?
Yeah, I think that it just felt like all of it felt very familiar, but so new, just because I'm at such a different point in my life as well. Because that is quite a jump, 12 to 17. It's very different points in life. So it was very different and cool and fun getting to play Phoebe as a teenager, as being a teenager. That was truly what was different about it. It was cool because I got to be older and hang out with the cast more and get to go and do things and be a person, versus being very young on the set. But yeah, it was really special getting to come back and bring her back to life for a second time. And I'm hoping to bring her back to life for a third. This film does well enough.
Do you already know whether there's going to be a third movie?
I hope so. I would love to come back for a third. I'd love to come back as many times as Ghostbusters will have me. But I don't know, I think that's the hope, at least for me. I just hope that this film does well enough.
Yeah. One other thing I wanted to ask about is Jason Reitman, the director of Afterlife.
Who?
Jason Reitman.
Who?
The director.
I'm kidding, I'm totally kidding.
I thought I mispronounced. So he's such an amazing person, and he has such a big creative vision. What was it like working with him?
I mean, he had such a specific creative vision for Phoebe, so creating Phoebe, it was truly such a collaborative process between he and I. Because, him being so near and dear to the project, it's like his family legacy in a way to make these films and create Ghostbusters franchise. But Jason really had such a specific vision for Phoebe. I hadn't really worked with a director in that way before, and I hadn't really worked with a director that works like him before. And so truly, Ghostbusters Afterlife taught me so much about acting that, you know, Jason Reitman kind of changed my process in acting and the way that I come to set and carry myself on the set, which, you know, I'll forever be grateful for. I'll forever be grateful to him for so many things, but Jason Reitman is brilliant, and I love his films, and I'm honored to have gotten to work with him and know him.
And in what way did he change your process?
He told me to stop coming to set, rehearsing my lines beforehand, and because, you know, I don't know, I rehearse my lines a lot and make sure I do them to a T, but one day he was like, stop, like, learning your lines, like, because I want to be the first person who ever hears the way you're going to say your lines. That way I can mold the way you're going to say them to, like, how I want. I was like, okay. And so now, I don't know why, I've kind of just gotten stuck in that process where I don't say my lines out loud before I go to set, and I kind of just read the script over like 5 times before we shoot, and then I don't really learn my sides for the day until that morning. That way it's just kind of new. I don't know, it's like weird. That's what I do sometimes, I don't know.
Jason didn't direct the second movie. What was it like to work with a different director?
It was really cool. Gil Keenan is brilliant. He's fantastic. He did Monster House, which is one of my favorite movies growing up as well. But yeah, we've known Gil since the first one because Gil is the co-writer as well. Jason and Gil wrote Afterlife and Frozen Empire together, so it was really cool getting to have Gil on set because he's also somebody who knows Phoebe near and dear because he created her. So it was really nice to have somebody directing us who we knew and somebody who was so close to the project already.
One more thing I wanted to ask about, because in Frozen Empire, Phoebe gets really close with Melody, who is a ghost herself. And while I was watching the movie, I really wondered whether there was some kind of romantic tension between them. And I wonder how you looked at that relationship between them and whether you had hoped that you would maybe been able to explore it more.
I think that for Phoebe, for me playing Phoebe, that was a connection. I don't know what it was, but it was a connection that Phoebe had never experienced before. You know, I mean, truly in this franchise, Phoebe has a podcast, and that's like her friend. That's the one connection she's made outside of her family. And I think that it was Phoebe's first time feeling truly seen. And I don't know what exactly, you know, that was or what that meant to her, but I think that however people want to interpret it or whatever people can relate to in Phoebe and Melody's relationship, whether it be friendship or romantic or something else, I think is beautiful, and I'm honored to be able to have people see themselves in me or in Phoebe or in Melody or their relationship. But for me, I don't know, I think that I don't want to put a label on anything because I feel like that doesn't do Phoebe justice, because I don't know, I've never seen Phoebe as a romantic creature, so it's hard for me to see that, but I don't know, I feel like it doesn't do her justice to put a label on anything. I think that for her, that it was not a label thing, that it was truly the first time that she felt seen outside of her family. Even with her family in this entire movie, she's fighting so hard to be seen. And so, to me, that's what it felt like.
Yeah. If there were to be a third Ghostbusters movie, what would you like that to be like? Do you have any ideas?
I don't know. I mean, Finn and I talk about what the third Ghostbusters would be all the time. My dad and I were like in the car coming up with a plot the other day. Like, we were just always talking about it. I have no idea what it actually would be or what that would look like. But I don't know. I just want it to be like fun. I think that we just need to go around and this last one was really fun. But I don't know. I feel like we just need to go around and bust ghosts. It's like we just need to go and bust ghosts and just go and mess around and make stupid jokes and just do a lot of ghost busting, a lot of action.
Yeah, well, I hope there's going to be a third movie. So before we go further, maybe the audience would like to ask some questions. We have 2 mics over there, so if anyone in the audience has some questions, please come forward. Don't hesitate. Just limit yourself to 1 question so we can get as many people as possible. So maybe we'll start over there. Go ahead.
What's your favorite food?
Right now there's this one, and it's like called like a Dusty Trip or something. So I play Roblox with my dad and my grandpa, which is really funny because I don't have that many friends. play Roblox with my dad and my grandpa and my best friend Ari, and then I get them all on a group FaceTime call and I make them play a Dusty Trip or like Fashion Famous or what's the scary one? Ooh, I've been playing this scary one where it was like, oh, there's this imposter one I've been playing. Growing up, it was always Royal High-Low. That was my that was what I grew up playing. So, thank you.
Let's hear the next one from over there.
Hi, it's again me. My question is, what is your favorite young version of character that you did?
You know what? I really loved playing young Sabrina because I felt like that was so full circle to play a young version of Kieran and Chipka because she's somebody that I have gotten compared to or recognized as her for my entire career. Yeah, so that was really fun.
Yes, okay. Me, it's young one.
Oh, thank you. Thanks.
Let's take the next one from there.
Yeah, hi. Yesterday you mentioned you would be interested in some Heather's role, maybe? So following that up, what would be your favorite musical?
My favorite musical is controversial opinion, but Cats is my favorite musical. I hear some people laughing, and I'm staring at you guys laughing right now. Knock it off, because Cats is a masterpiece, and I don't care what anybody has to say about it. I love Cats. And you know what? I'm not afraid to say it. I loved Cats the movie too. I thought that it was fantastic, so screw everybody who hates Cats. I love that movie and that freaking play. So thank you. I love Cats. And I love Heathers too.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Sorry, let me step off of my cat soapbox. I really love that. I'm passionate.
Hi, I'm Diane. My question was is your favorite memory from the Sheldon show and set? Because my family and I always watch you when we eat dinner. It's like an entire ritual. Always when you sit down, it's like, can we please watch Sheldon? And everybody just sits with their plate and watches just mesmerized.
That's so sweet. I don't know, I've been friends with Reagan, who plays Missy, for a while, I think before even shooting the show. So I don't know, I really enjoy shooting with her. I really liked the episode that we did last time where her and I went on that road trip. That was a really good time. I liked being able to sing that 3 Non Blonde song. It was really fun and we had whistles all day. That was really fun. Thank you. Thank you.
Go ahead.
Hello. We all know you as an actress, but you also wrote a movie or co-wrote a movie, The Versie, Returns. And I was wondering, how did you experience the process as being a screenwriter, and what did you like to see your work being put on the screen?
I love writing. I wrote that script with my dad. My dad is an orthopedic surgeon, so he's always really, really busy, but how we bonded with me growing up is watching films. And he's probably one of the reasons that I am as into movies as I am. So he and I write scripts together. And that was a really cool process, getting to have something that I wrote and I made brought to life. Because usually I bring other people's vision to life. So that was really fun and really cool. But, that's something that I really want to dive deeper into. I have about 4 scripts right now that I'm actively trying to push out there and pitch, so I'm working on it. But yeah, that was really fun, and I love writing with my dad.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Hi, first of all, you're brilliant as Phoebe Spangler, really brilliant.
Thank you.
It's great to see the old cast and the new cast back together, but there's someone missing, and I would like to know if there were talks to bring back Rick Moranis. I would love to see Rick Moranis. Is there a possibility?
Well, I think that's more, I know that he kind of retired from acting for a long time. I don't know if he's doing things again, but I remember there was a lot of talks with Afterlife to bring him on. There was a lot of stuff with that, but I think that he kind of doesn't do as much acting anymore. I don't know the entire situation, but I'm such a big fan of his. I freaking love his first films. God, he's so funny. But yeah, there was definitely a lot of talks about bringing him on for Afterlife, but I think ultimately it didn't happen for personal reasons. But I feel like if there was a third, if he, would be open to it, that would be incredible. I love him.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Hello, my name is Annabell and I'm a big fan of yours. My favorite song is Haunted House. What was your inspiration behind
a lot of personal stories. I mean, all of my music is based off of my personal experiences. I feel like I can't write about something if I haven't felt it or it hasn't happened to me. You know, that song's a breakup song, but I actually wrote it about like family situations, which was interesting. I thought that was nice because, you know, it sounds like a breakup song, but it's something for me that I relate to in a different way, in a different situation. So, you know, I thought that it was something that universally relate to a breakup or a family situation or being friends. Thank you.
Okay, I think we have time for 4 more questions, so let's come over there.
4 more left.
Hi, I just want to say that I loved your performance in the Ghostbusters and that I think you should be really proud of yourself.
Thanks.
My question is if you could be in any franchise, like the Hunger Games or anything, what would it be?
Okay, I do love the Hunger Games. I love the Hunger Games. I don't know. Ghostbusters. I don't know. Oh, you know what I love is I love Scream. That's like, the first Scream is genuinely probably one of my all-time favorite films. I don't know. I have like a very short list of films that I've seen like probably over like 20 times, and that is like probably top on there. Scream is one of my favorite franchises.
Good choice.
Thanks.
Go ahead. Hi, I've been following you since your beginnings and you're really amazing. I wanted to ask you about The Handmaid's Tale because it's one of our favorite shows. How was it like to play such a special role as a young person?
It was really special. I've always been so honored and so proud of that role. I love getting to be on that show and be part of that set. I really love playing Esther. I love getting to be a part of that show. It was always an honor, especially being a young person, getting to play a young person going through situations because it makes a lot of people uncomfortable, but that's kind of my goal and my job whenever I'm working in a series like Handmaid's Tale is to, you know, make people uncomfortable because then maybe if they're uncomfortable about somebody just acting out a scene in a very comfortable environment with intimacy coordinators and a director and 500 million people in the room, you know, like there's so many people there whenever you're shooting a scene versus not getting uncomfortable for actual girls and children and people who are going through these situations that we're just portraying, you know.
Is this ook niet van dat ik...
I think that it's important for me to be able to be a young person and portraying that, because hopefully people want to do something about it. But yeah, I've always been really honored to be a part of Handmaid's Tale. I love that series. Thank you.
Okay, one last question over there.
Hi, I've always loved all your performances, but I've mostly known you from young Sheldon. I wanted to know what was it like working on set with all those amazing people and all that amazing cast?
It's really fun. I mean, I've been working on there since I was like 10, so I've been working on there for like 7 years. I don't know, it's fun because everybody watches those kids grow up and that family grow, and so it's fun to kind of pop in there every once in a while and kind of, I don't know, it's cool to have that connection, especially, you know, with Reagan. Her and I have kind of grown up together, which is sweet. But yeah, I don't know, I always have a great time on Young Sheldon whenever I pop in every once in a while. It's always a good time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, last question, no pressure.
Hello. I'm a great fan of Young Sheldon, and my question is, what do you think of the relation between Paige and Sheldon?
Paige and Sheldon?
Yes.
I don't know, doesn't he like hate her? I mean, I never know what they're gonna have us do whenever I go onto that show. I mean, Paige has spiraled into such like a self-destructive path. I hope that she finds some happiness. But I mean, Paige and Sheldon are funny. I mean, I think that's the first person who's actually like threatened his intelligence as a young person. So I mean, it's funny. It's a funny dynamic, but I enjoy getting to portray. Thank you.
Okay. Well, I think that's all we have time for today. McKenna, I really want to thank you for being here today. You're such a great actress. And again, let me hear you one more time for McKenna Grace.